Hello everyone, I'm finally filming again. It's been a long while, I know, and I'm very sorry, but as you can see, I've got no makeup on, still in my PJs, fresh out of the shower, and got my double shot caramel latte here, ready for some story time. Not really story time, kind of just explaining why I haven't been here. Oh god, this is gonna be a long video. So, as you all know, if you've watched me before, I made a couple of videos of my makeup back when I first started YouTube, and I started an Instagram page before that just purely for my makeup. And I stopped filming on YouTube probably talk to me probably mid last year. There's a hair in my coffee, I love that, sorry. So I stopped filming like probably mid-year last year because a lot of stuff went down in my life that I couldn't cope with, and I wanted to make this YouTube channel as raw and as real as it could be, and I wanted you guys to see the real me and what I'm really going through and everything like that, and I always planned for it to be that way because I never wanted to put a fake front up just for people watching me online when I want you guys to know who I really am, if that makes sense. Yeah, basically I just had a lot of stuff going on in my life that I couldn't cope with properly, let alone trying to find time to go to school, trying to find time to go to work, trying to find time to manage my studies, and as well as filming videos and everything like that. And not only YouTube did I stop, but I stopped my makeup page for a long time on Instagram. And sorry, I'm not looking at the camera very much, like I'm just trying to gather my thoughts and trying to put it in a way that can't offend anybody, or put it in a way that is real and I want you guys to understand. Before I get into everything that went on in my life, I want to just say that if sexual assault or rape or any kind of assault of any sort that you would classify, if that triggers anything for you, or if that makes you uncomfortable to listen to, I want you to stop the video now. And I don't want you to listen, and I won't be offended, and I don't want any comments of what your opinion is. I'm doing this for me, and I'm doing this so I feel better about it. I want to get my story out there, and I think it's time that people know. Not just close to me, and like, I was happy with that. I was happy that just people close to me and all the support that I had from my family and my friends and my work friends and everything like that. I was so grateful for the support that I got from everybody, but I want a lot more people to know now, because I'm comfortable in my own self to tell my story and how I cope. Because if you can not only get my story out there, but maybe if it can help somebody that has gone through something similar or is going through something similar, I want to be able to help, because I didn't get to help myself properly, and I wish I did, but I didn't as much as I wanted to, and I want to be able to help someone now, if that makes sense. God, I sound so cheesy. So basically, just when I kicked off my YouTube channel last year, everything was great, everything was good. Yeah, I was always a bit shy and always a bit controversial on whether I was happy or not doing what I was doing, but I always knew that I was loved, that I loved to do makeup, and I wanted to show people that. But everything was good and everything was well, and then last year in May, I was in a place that is well known on the Gold Coast and everything like that. I'm not going to give any names throughout this either. I was waiting for a friend one night after I had been to a party. I wasn't intoxicated, I only had a few drinks, but I was fine at this time. I was just waiting for a friend to meet up with me so we could go to another party that she got invited to. And it was a Friday night, so there was a lot of drunk people out clubbing and blah blah blah. So I made the conscious decision in my head at the time to walk away from that situation. As we all know, everybody is a bit forward and a bit like obnoxious when they're drunk and everything like that, especially some guys to females. I don't want to offend anybody when I say that, that's just what I think sometimes from experience. Remove myself from that situation, I went and sat on a beach, and I was sitting on this beach, away from everyone on this beach, and I kind of was just on my phone trying to avoid everybody, and I was approached by a man. I don't know who this man was, and I'm not just doing that to protect his identity, because I honestly don't know who this man was. He was quite young, probably 20s, I'd say. I don't know. He approached me and obviously wanted to get my attention, and he made it quite clear that he wanted my attention, he wanted my full attention, and when I didn't give him that, he got angry, so to say. He got a bit aggravated. I could tell he was frustrated. There was a lot that I could tell. There was a lot of emotions, and he just couldn't control it, whether he'd been drinking or... Really sorry in advance, this is really hard for me to say. I don't know how to word it, and I don't know how to say it without sounding the wrong way, because I know somebody will watch this and someone will be like, they have their own opinion on it, if that makes sense. So basically, this man got angry at me because I didn't want to borrow his attention. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to associate with him. I didn't know who he was. I didn't feel comfortable, and I didn't give this guy what he wanted, and he got very angry about it. And he took advantage of how small I was and how vulnerable I was and how naive I was. Like, basically, in a nutshell, this man assaulted me. He not only assaulted me, but he raped me, and I didn't know who this man was, and he took away me. I used to be so outgoing and so happy and such a bright and cheerful girl, and I always wanted to be the center of attention, and I always wanted to be laughing, and I always wanted to be making people laugh and putting a smile on people's face, and he took that away from me. He took away the good part of me and the part that people cherish the most, and the part that I cherish the most. I loved that part of myself. I loved how outgoing and how happy I was. I was just so happy. I was so happy. I didn't tell anybody for about 2 months. The first person I told was my mum, and I know everyone's going to have their own different opinions on why didn't you tell her, why wouldn't you do that, why would you not protect yourself, why wouldn't you tell him to stop. In that moment, I was always the person to be like, this will never happen to me. I would protect myself. I would tell this person to stop if this was ever to happen to me. But when you're in that moment, nothing crosses your mind. Nothing. Only way I can put it is I left my body, and I just froze, and not only out of fear, but out of the fact that I had no control over that situation. I had no control over what that boy was going to do to me. I had no control over anything, so I just subconsciously left my body. I didn't want to be present in that moment anymore, and I think when I consciously made this decision, I didn't come back to my body, and I was so numb for such a long time that I pushed so many people away that cared about me, and I wasn't eating properly, I wasn't sleeping properly, everything was just very numb. I didn't feel anything, and I know that's not going to make sense, but emotionally I was numb and I couldn't feel anything anymore. So as I said, I didn't tell anybody for about 2 months, and when I told my mum, I felt bad. I felt like I had done something wrong because I didn't tell her, and I thought constantly in my head over and over again since that event took place that she'd be angry at me. And any normal person would know that not just a parent, a friend, anybody, no one would ever be mad. Okay, please relax. I'm trying to film a video. School bell, like a couple of blocks away, just went off. Yeah, so I know now that it was so silly of me to think that my mom would even in the slightest have any sort of anger or any other emotion other than hurt that her baby has just had to go through this, and support. In saying that, she was my mum is my biggest support system in my life, and I will forever be grateful for how much she's done for me. She's always put me and my family first, and it's always been that way, and especially when it came to this situation, she had non-stop been there for me, and she did everything in her power to make sure I was okay. She asked me if I wanted to go to the police about it, and I didn't ever feel comfortable, and I didn't feel brave enough to ever face the situation and say that it was real. Like I said, my whole emotional being was just so numb, and I couldn't feel anymore, and I didn't want to face the fact that this really happened, and I didn't want to actually know that it was real and that it happened and this person is actually out there. And I know my family wanted me to go to the police so badly so this man could suffer for what he did to me and what he put me through, but I just didn't want to. And the fact that they supported me through that decision, although how crazy it sounds, the fact that they supported me through that is one of my most grateful moments for them. They've always had my back through everything, and though we might fight and though we might be mad at each other or whatever it may be, they were my biggest support system, especially my mum, and she was my best friend. She's been my rock my whole life, and I don't know what I would have done without her throughout this. And I really, Mum, if you're watching, hey, I know you're going to be, but if she wasn't here for me throughout this time in my life, I wouldn't be here right now. And I know that this time was the hardest time of my life. It took a long time for me to tell my family this. It took me a long time to tell my friends this, and some of the closest people in my life, I pushed them away so much just because I couldn't feel and I didn't know what I was feeling, and I didn't want to hurt them. I didn't want to burden them. I always felt like a burden. I always felt like I could never tell anybody my story or my problem because I felt like they already had their own stuff going on. They don't need my problems. They don't need my story. They don't need to help me. I'm going to be okay. I can do it on my own. That was the mindset I had, and I knew in my head, deep down, I cannot do this by myself. If someone does this on their own, they are one of the strongest people. But I thought, I can do this on my own, I don't need anybody, and I pushed so many people away, and I was angry. I was angry for a very long time. I was upset and I was really angry, and it took me a long time to get past the fact that this man had not only taken away so many privileges that I would love to choose and I would love to experience with someone that I love, but he took away a really good part of me that I loved, and it took me a long time to forgive him for that. And I know when you listen to that, you're like, forgiveness to this person that did something like this to you, how could you ever forgive them? I thought the exact same thing, and I constantly said to myself, I can never forgive this person. I will never forgive him. He has ruined my whole life. He's ruined my teenage years, and I'm never going to forgive him for what he did to me. This angry and upset stage probably went on for easily 6 to maybe 9 months. It was a long time, and I always had the support of everyone around me that loved me, but I still had in my head, I can do this on my own, even though I know I can't. I'm still a child, I'm still a little baby, and I don't know, it hurts that to think how much I pushed away the people that cared when all they did was try and help me. And I haven't lost anyone over this, but I have gain stronger relationships, and I know that sounds weird. How can you gain stronger relationships by pushing people away? But I'm gonna cry again, oh my god. People that I have in my life, whether or not I pushed them away, whether or not I yelled and screamed at them, whether or not I cried in their face, whether or not I called them names or whatever it may be, they were still constantly there. And I'm so grateful for everybody that I have in my life, my family, my friends, everybody. Like, I told a select amount of people that I trusted my whole life with, and they were my absolute rock. They helped me through everything, whether it was at school when I actually went. My friends there were the best support system ever, and I'm so grateful for all of them, and they know who they are. Whether it be at my workplace, like, they were an amazing support system, and they turned every friend that I had turned into family. And I'm so grateful that I still call these friends my family today, and I am so in love with them. I love them all, and I would do anything for them. I would take a bullet for them, and I don't know, it's just really crazy to think that there's people in this world that care, and to think that you can go from an experience, having one bad experience with one bad person, to think that they made me think everybody in the world was a horrible person, they were a monster, I couldn't trust anybody, and to think that I still had this handful of people that were the biggest support system in my life and kept me breathing every day and kept me going every day. They are the people that remind me there are still good people in this world. They are so amazing, and I can never put into words how grateful I am for them. So yeah, last year was one of the hardest years of my life, and it really put me behind in a lot. Like, I didn't go to school as much as I should. I barely passed it really, and the school had my back 100%. There was one dean in particular, and he had my back 100%, and he made sure that I got to my next grade. He made sure that I passed my grades, whether or not I showed up to class or whether I didn't. I couldn't be in an environment where I would sit in a classroom with majority of the people I don't talk to and listen to somebody talk in front of a class in a silent classroom. I know this sounds crazy, but let me just explain. Hang on. During this time, I gained a very, very, very deep depression, and I wasn't okay. And I considered many things that I'm not going to name, but I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. I gained a very, very deep depression, and my anxiety skyrocketed through the roof, like crazy through the roof. I would have panic attacks all the time. Don't get me wrong, I still have them now quite often, and I still deal with this problem every day, but during this period of time it was really hard, and I couldn't sit in the classroom and just sit in a quiet classroom. My thoughts were so loud, and all I pictured was this person, and they haunted me every single day, 24/7. Oh God. So that was one effect, one major effect. It affected my schooling and my studies majorly, so bad. I went through the week day by day. It literally, I would wake up in the morning. Sometimes I wouldn't even be able to get out of bed. Sometimes I didn't want to wake up. Sometimes I couldn't stop crying. Sometimes I didn't even want to shower. I didn't even want to brush my teeth. I didn't want to be hygienic. I didn't want to care for myself because I felt like, what's the point? I feel dirty. I feel so dirty all the time, no matter how many showers I had, no matter how many times I washed my body, my hair, whatever it may be. I didn't care anymore, and I was so sad and so depressed that I didn't care if I looked like a mess. I didn't care about physical appearance anymore because in a way it matched my emotional appearance, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I not only fell behind in school, but I tried to find a distraction in working a lot. And I used to work in a fast food restaurant, and everything was fine. It was a distraction. I loved the people I worked with. I loved being distracted and having a fast-paced environment all the time to take my mind off things, and all was great until this person came through my work drive-through, and that's when one of my only distractions got taken away from me, and I didn't know how to deal with that. And it went from being a little bit okay to not okay at all, and I felt like I was trapped. Everything that I did, he was either in my mind or he was in front of me. Like, I saw him multiple times, and I was just really trapped. And I felt like I had nowhere to go, and I felt like I had nowhere to run to, and I didn't feel safe anywhere. I just didn't feel safe, and I felt like it was so unfair. Why me? why me? That's what I kept saying to myself. Why me? Why did I have to go through this? Everything that I love got taken away from me. From one stupid act. From a very, very selfish individual. Looking back on how I used to be and my mindset and my outlook on life, that's what makes me the most upset, on how my outlook on life completely just switched from one act. And that's the most crazy thing to me, that I used to enjoy life so much, I used to live it so much, and I used to laugh and I used to cry and I used to feel every single emotion. I was sick of being numb. And it's a weird feeling to be numb, and you don't really realize it until you don't cry anymore, and you don't realize it until, say for example, you watch a dog video on Facebook. Really weird example, I know. Say, for example, you watch a dog video on Facebook and you feel a real joy and uplifting happiness inside of you. Oh my god, this little puppy, it's so cute. I didn't feel that anymore. And not to feel things as simple as that really threw me off, and I wasn't expecting that. I never expected all of these other aspects of... So sorry, my cat's up there. Not being able to feel these certain simple emotions that I would feel without even trying before really threw me off. I didn't think all of these extra little things and weird, I don't know a word for it, but all these extra little things that I went through, I didn't expect someone that has been assaulted before to go through. I thought it was just a thing and you dealt with it. And I know that sounds so self-centered and so silly and so self-righteous of me to even sit here and think that someone doesn't feel all of these things and they just deal with it and it's just a thing, and that's what makes me angry. I made myself angry because I was that person, I was that girl that sat there and I joked about, oh my god, he's gonna rape me, oh my god, this is like silly things like that, like the word rape, the word assault, the word sexual assault, silly things like that and silly words like that are so much more powerful than anybody will ever imagine. And the fact that they just get thrown around, they just get used on a daily basis in a matter that isn't even involved in this, and how people can just joke that this is going to happen to them makes me angry. I was that person. This is never going to happen to me. How can this even happen? She should have just protected herself. Why didn't she stand up for herself? Why didn't she say no? Why didn't she go to the police? Why didn't she tell anybody? I thought all of these thoughts. And although it makes me angry now, I understand. I understand why people, girls, boys, adults, like anybody can think this, because these words, these terms, these acts are so normal. They're so normal to be committed by a girl, to be committed by a boy, an adult, a man, a female, anybody can commit it. And it's such a regular pattern in today's society, and it makes me sick that people go through this every single day and that people can commit this every single day. And it blows my mind how often people go through this and how many people don't tell anybody. There's just crazy statistics about it. Like, it blows my mind. I literally have no words about how often this occurs and how often people don't say anything about it. I understand why people don't say anything about it, and I totally understand that, but I'm saying, from my experience, saying something about it helps. Talking to people helps. I saw psychologists, I went to the doctor, I tried different medications, I tried everything, and although they help, they didn't at the same time. My personal opinion, I would prefer sitting down and talking to my mum rather than talking to a psychologist. I feel like in my head, in my thought process, my anxiety goes crazy when I talk to somebody I don't know. My mum even went to the extent of finding a psychologist that I had already spoken to before. We had a good connection. She already knew everything about me, but I still freaked out. I still thought that this man would find out that I'm telling someone about him, and I was scared. I was really scared. And I could never tell anybody about it. Even today, I still go to doctors about it, and I still get updated medication and everything like that, and I still have to go in with my mum, and my mum has to explain the situation because I still can't say it. And that's why I wanted to make this video. I felt as though that I finally come together, and I finally built up the courage to tell people about it. And I know it sounds crazy and it's silly. Why would you tell the whole internet this, Tamika? Like, you're being crazy, and everyone's going to have their different opinion on it. But I want to tell people, and I want to tell people that it's going to be okay, and you just have to fight it. Oh, that sounds so cheesy, and it sounds so typical of someone to say it's going to get better, and it sounds crazy, I know, but it is going to get better if you talk. You need to talk to somebody, and it happens every single day, and I want you to know that you're never alone. You're never going to be alone in a situation like this, whether you're a boy, whether you're a girl, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, or whether you're a child, an adult, anybody. You're never going to be alone in a situation like this. This situation occurs so many times every single day in everywhere all over the world. It's crazy. If you look up statistics, it's going to blow your mind, and it's going to be crazy, and some people don't even look at this because they don't want to believe it. And people out there that sit there and say she deserved it or he deserved it, she was wearing provocative clothes, so it was her fault. She shouldn't have been out that late, it was her fault. She shouldn't have been drinking, it was her fault. Or he shouldn't have been drinking, it's her fault. His fault, sorry. But people like that don't want to believe the reality of today's society and how disgusting it can be. Yeah, there's great aspects, and it can be a beautiful community. Everyone can love each other. Everyone can be like happy and share their love for everything, like different things, like. But there's always going to be a bad side of it. This is one of the bad aspects of it, and people ignore it. It's ignored all the time because people don't want to face what the world is really like. The fact that people can sit there and say it's your fault shows how ignorant they are. And I believed some of those people, and I listened to the words that they said, the disgusting, the vulgar words that they said. And it was engraved in my head, and I believed every single word that they said. But you need to think, you're never going to be alone. If you could have stopped the situation, you would have. Why does it give any person any right to touch you without your consent if you're wearing a short skirt or if you're wearing a crop top? Put it this way, if you can walk into a strip club and there's females dancing half naked, why are you not allowed to touch them if they don't say yes? You're not allowed to touch them when they're giving you a lap dance. You're not allowed to touch them in any way because it's against the rules. Why does that make it any different when you're walking down the street and you see a girl with a short skirt on? Why is that fair? Why do you get to choose whether she wants to or not? Or whether he wants to or not? It's not fair. You do not make the decision for other people. This occurs every single day, and so many people don't say anything about it, and I was one of those people for a couple of months. But I made the right decision when I say that I chose to tell my family, I chose to tell my friends. And although I was afraid, I was so afraid of what they were going to say, how they were going to act, whether they would treat me differently or not, they were still my biggest support system, and there's always going to be someone that will support you. And I wanted to tell my story just so you know that you're not alone. This happens to so many people. You will never ever be alone. in this world. So many people will understand what you go through, whether you're a boy or a girl, I don't care. Everyone will understand. There are so many people out there that will understand, and it's so much better to tell somebody about what you're going through, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, whether you've been assaulted, whether you've been beaten up, whether you've been bullied, whatever it may be, someone will understand. Whether you tell somebody about it and they're a child, whether they're a teenager, whether they're an adult, so many people of so many ages go through different things every day, and you need to remember that you will never be by yourself. No one will ever be on their own. There might be people out there that will judge you, there might be people out there that will have their own opinion, but there's always a handful of people in the world, and you need to remember, although one or a handful of people may be the bad people and they may have thought that you never can trust anybody again, there's always going to be that handful of people that will be a constant reminder to you that there is good people in the world. And for my instance, that's my family. They tell me and they remind me every single day that I'm going to be okay and there's still good people in the world. And just please, 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 please never ever think that you're on your own. Please. Because you're never going to be on your own. Whether you go to a person to talk to about it professionally, if your parents, if you don't want to tell your parents, I don't care. You may not even know me, but please just message me. Just message me on any social media that you can find me on. I will be here and I will talk to you. Whether you don't want me to talk, I can just listen. I may not be the best person to help you with, but I can listen and I can help you through my experiences. I've been through a lot, and I always get the comment, you're so mature for your age. And I always joke about it and say, it's the trauma. It's the trauma that helps me get through, and really it's a sad, sad reality, but I've been through so much at such a young age that it's made me grow up faster than I needed to. And as much as I wish that I had a great childhood, I was stable with money, I never got bullied, I wish that I never had body issues, I wish that my family never fought, like everything that you would wish in a perfect life, I wish I had, but I would never, ever change the life that I've lived for the world. I would never change it. So that sounds crazy because people would think, why would you not go back and change this event or this situation or whatever I've been through? I wouldn't change this because I wouldn't be who I am today without this happening to me. And it sounds really crazy, but I've forgiven this person for what they've done to me, and that was one of the biggest steps that I've ever taken in my life. And I wouldn't change this for the world, because I wouldn't be as close with my family, and I wouldn't have such a strong relationship with my mum and my friends and everybody if this didn't happen. I wouldn't be so educated on the fact that this happens every day if this didn't happen to me. I wouldn't be able to help everybody or anybody that needed my help, or seeked help from anybody from any situation like this if this didn't happen to me. I wouldn't be as strong as I am today if this didn't happen to me. One thing that my mum said to me, and she said, when I was upset one day, she said to me, you used to have this sparkle in your eye. And this literally makes me cry every single time. To me, Tamika, you used to have this sparkle in your eye and it's not there anymore. And it wasn't only her that said that either. I had really close people tell me that they didn't see it anymore either, and that really broke my heart. It made me sit back and realise I'm not who I used to be, and it sucks that I had to go through all of this to be stronger, but the fact that they could see that I wasn't me anymore, I wanted to fight more. I wanted to fight more every day, and even though some days were really, really hard and I didn't want to do it anymore, but I fought because I fought for them. I fought for the people who cared about me. I didn't care about myself, I cared about them. And I fought to get that sparkle back, and I did. And I'm so happy that I got it back, and I'm so happy that I've gotten so much stronger from everything that's happened to me, and I couldn't be more grateful for everybody that's been my support system throughout this. And everyone knows who they are, everyone knows that I've been through so much, and they know who they are, and they know that they've seen the worst times and they've seen the best times. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, and I'm so happy that I got that sparkle back. I got that little twinkle back in my eye, and I'm me, and I'm stronger, and I'm better. And it sounds so silly to say out loud, but I'm really happy. I'm happy. I tried many medications and everything because I did experience really bad sleep paralysis, and that, although it still happens, sometimes it's getting better, it's getting a lot better. I'm on some new medication, I finally got on some antidepressants, and that was the last straw. That was the last resort for my mum and I, and we didn't ever want to put me on them because we've always heard bad things about them, and I've only just recently gone on them because my anxiety and my depression got really bad. But so far, they're helping a lot, and although I still get panic attacks quite often, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, and that's like one of my new favourite sayings, and another one as well. It's going to get worse before it gets better, and everything happens for a reason. And I know that's the cheesiest saying in the whole world, but everything does happen for a reason. I wouldn't be here today talking about this, being able to help people, if this didn't happen to me. I wouldn't be as strong as I am today if this didn't happen to me, and I'm always going to be grateful for everything. Not so much the event, I'm not going to say I'll be... Oh my god, is everyone okay? What the damn? Oh my god! There's a fire alarm going off at the school. Oh Jesus. Shit, son.
Two hours later.
I'm back. So sorry about that inconvenience. It went for literally 25 minutes, but that's fine. It's fine. I think what I was saying is that I'm on antidepressants now, and I've only just gone on them, so there's like a little bit of an effect, but not really. I don't really know. I just know it gets worse before it gets better. So what I mean when I say that is that I'm probably having like 2 to 3 panic attacks on a good day. And on a bad day, I probably have 5 or 6. And I know that sounds really crazy and really intense, but it's fine because I always have someone there that can help me through it, and always have someone that makes sure I am okay, and they know how to deal with the situation. So it's fine. It's not a bad thing. It's going to get better. But yeah, I'm really happy in this moment right now. Sometimes I'm not that happy and I get really sad and I cry for no reason, but that's something that you learn to deal with when you deal with an illness. I don't really know what to say. Let's just call it an illness, a mental illness, Jesus, Tamika. But I'm used to it because I've dealt with it for a long time. It's just I'm more familiar with what a panic attack feels like, and I can feel when it's going to come on. I can feel when I'm about to cry. I'm sure everyone can, but I just cry randomly sometimes. I get really super sad sometimes, and sometimes I'm really happy, like crazy happy, like I look like I'm going crazy. But that's fine. Yeah, they have to take blood from you, and they have to assure that it's not just overactive thyroids, because overactive thyroids can be mistaken as anxiety because it causes you to breathe faster. So they have to check for the thyroids, they have to check for low iron levels, low B12, all of that sort of stuff that can cause sadness or depression. I got blood taken, I got heart rate tests taken, I had to be hooked up to all this weird stuff. Really weird, quite scary, but I was fine. Yeah, there was a lot leading up to this point, and it was very scary going onto this medication, so to say. I was very scared. I didn't want it to change who I was as a person. I didn't want it to take away me. Don't know if that makes sense. There's a lot of I don't know if that makes sense moments in this video, because I'm trying to word it how people would understand it, because I'm just trying to, because in my head it makes sense, but when I say it out loud it doesn't. So just trying to make it make sense for everybody in a way that's simple enough for it to make sense. I don't know if this even makes sense. What am I saying right now? Anyway, I'm gonna just skip past that. It was a very hard task leading up to getting onto this medication. It wasn't my first resort, it was very much so my last resort, but it's having a good effect so far and I'm happy most of the time. I've been quite sad lately. I don't really know why. I'm just gonna go with it gets worse before it gets worse before it gets better. But yeah, sorry if this is a really depressing and sad video, but I wanted to make it clear to everybody why I didn't make videos. And I've had some people say, you're just too lazy, you don't want to do this, you're not committed, and that's not the case at all. I didn't want to put on a fake front for you guys, and I didn't want to pretend that I was happy, and I didn't want to pretend that I was okay, because I really wasn't. I was very far from it. And like I said in the beginning, I've always wanted to have a real, raw front of me. Like, I wanted you guys to see every aspect of me, and I want all of you guys to know that this isn't just me putting on a front just so I can get more views. I don't want to pretend to be someone I'm not. I want you guys to know who I genuinely am as a person. And in this time, I wasn't okay, and I wasn't in the right headspace to film and pretend that I wasn't okay. I could barely even go outside without it being a big drama, let alone to sit in front of a camera and talk about, oh yeah, this foundation's really good, or like stuff like that. Like, I wasn't the first priority. I needed to make sure I was okay, and I needed to make sure my family was okay, and I needed to make sure everything in my emotional and physical state was okay, because that is the most important thing in your life. Your health, your mental health, your family are the most important things of your life. That comes before school, before work, anything. As much as school and work gets you places in life, your family's never going to leave you, and they're never going to leave your side. They're always going to stand by you and push you through, and I've learnt that over this past year and a bit. So I know that it's a really sad video, but I wanted to make this so people know that I'm not just lazy. It's not that I'm not committed, it's because I needed to sort myself out. And I also wanted to get my story out there and tell everybody that you're not alone, and I'm here to listen to you. And I know that's a very broad statement, considering there's a few people watching and everything like that, but I will try my best. If people want to know about it, if people want to hear more details about it, then I will try my best to help as much as I can, and I will try my best to help people as much as I can. And I just want to get it out there that you're not alone. And I know I've said that a million times already, but you're not going to be alone. You're never going to be alone in a situation like this. In any situation in your life, there's always somebody that's already been through it. And I know that doesn't make it hurt any less, and I know that doesn't make it any easier, but you're not going to be alone, and someone can help you. And I think seeking help is the best choice that I ever made. Even though psychology wasn't the best option for me personally, hearing somebody that didn't know the situation and wasn't there for the situation, hearing their outside opinion did help a lot. Say, I enjoyed talking to my mom about it much more, plus it was free. Talking to her about it, she knows the situation in and out as much as I do, and that's great, and I would much prefer talking to her anyway, because that's just my personal opinion. But hearing somebody that properly analyzes the situation and doesn't know every single aspect and feature about it can help. And they do get paid to analyze, and they do get paid to be honest, and they're never going to judge you. And I know that's the biggest fear for some people. That was my biggest fear. They're going to judge me, she's going to get mad if I don't want to talk about it. But they get paid to listen. They get paid to sit there. They get paid to be abused sometimes. They get paid to see people cry. They get paid to see people get angry. It's their job. And there wouldn't be people in the world that get paid to do this if they didn't want people to get help. Does that make sense? And just don't always go straight to the fact that you're depressed or your anxiety is really bad or you suffer from all these different mental illnesses, because there's always a way to fix it. And I feel like the word depression gets thrown around a lot, and a lot of people in this world have it, and it makes me really sad. But there's always different levels of depression. Sometimes you might just be sad and you think it might be depression. I don't know if that's going to offend anyone. Please don't take offense to it. But people use the word a lot without being properly diagnosed, and then that could lead to them taking the wrong medication and making it worse, and that's like the worst outcome. I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody. And yes, if you think that you're depressed and you don't think you need a doctor's opinion on it, then sure, like, you're the person that knows your feelings the most, but make sure you are properly diagnosed before you take any medication that may not be right for you, because it might lead to worse consequences, worst outcomes, not consequences, in the future, in the long run, if that makes sense. I've been blabbing on about my life for a long time, but I just wanted to get that out there. I'm sorry that I haven't been filming, and I'm sorry that that pissed off a bit of people, but I needed to get myself in check and my mental health in check, and I have done that. And I'm in grade 11 now, and it's quite stressful, and I know people have got more serious things going on, but I'm still dealing with my mental issues every day, and I'm trying to keep up with study and everything like that. So I can't guarantee to be posting every single week, can't guarantee to be doing everything every single week, but I'm going to be trying my utmost to try and get something up, even if it's just a photo on my Instagram for you guys to look at. I want you to know that I still care and I still cherish the support that all of you guys gave me from the beginning, and I will always be forever grateful for it, because I was terrified to post something to start with. But I feel comfortable enough to tell people about my story now, and I'm happy for the people that are going to support me, and I know I'm going to get like millions of, like, so much support from everybody, and I'm going to be so happy about it. But I'm really sorry for talking about my life for so long. I just wanted to make it quite clear that I am committed, and I do love makeup, and I still do love sharing my life with you guys, but I felt like this step needed to be taken before any other one. So I'm really sorry for blabbing for a long time, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to leave any comments below or message me privately. All my socials will be left below. So sorry, this is a really sad video. I just wanted you guys to know, but yeah, I'm forever grateful for all of the support that I've got from my family and my friends, even from you guys. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed. If this is an enjoyable video, yeah, if you guys want to see more videos like this, like story times even, or not just makeup related, anything that you guys want to see, I'll try my hardest to do it. So just let me know in the comments below, or message me privately on my socials, and I'll see what I can do. So grateful to have all of you guys, and I'm so grateful to be able to tell my story and have a platform like this to tell my story on. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys again soon, I guess. I don't know, I'm really bad at these outro things, but yeah, thank you for watching. I love you all very much.